Us at 5. We've got new developments in Alabama's fight to protect in vitro fertilization. Another bill filed in the state Senate today.
Yeah, this comes in the wake of the Alabama Supreme Court ruling that frozen embryos are children. Our Brendan Kirby has been following the cases closely. They originated here in Mobile. He's live in the news center.
But Brendan, whatever the legislature does will not affect those cases, right?
Yeah, most likely not, Byron and Lenise. Almost certainly whatever exception the legislature carves out will apply only going forward. These wrongful death lawsuits will come back to Mobile County, and it could take years to resolve them. The Alabama Supreme Court's ruling in a case argued last summer in a special sitting at the University of South Alabama is hardly the end. In many ways, it's really just the beginning. The High Court's ruling that the destruction of frozen embryos are subject to Alabama's Wrongful Death of a Minor Act doesn't mean that the couples who sued Infirmary Health have won their cases.
So now what has to happen is the parties go back to the trial court and they get to litigate their claims. Was, in fact, there a wrongful death?
The plaintiffs allege that Infirmary Health was negligent in allowing someone to destroy their fertilized eggs. University of Alabama School of Law professor Benjamin McMichael says the plaintiffs will have to gather evidence to prove that the hospital and the Center for Reproductive Medicine were at fault.
Even when an infant dies, it doesn't necessarily mean that anybody's going to be held liable. It could be that this was just bad luck. It wasn't the hospital's fault.
U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra met Tuesday with families and healthcare providers in Birmingham, urging them to share their stories.
I believe the more Americans hear these stories, the more we're going to get past this, so you all can move forward with your lives.
The defendants noted that the couple signed contracts that in many respects treated leftover embryos as property, electing to destroy them or donate them for research. The majority opinion suggested that those are possible defenses that Infirmary Health and the clinic may raise at trial, but that the justices wouldn't consider them at this stage. Mobile County Circuit Judge Jill Phillips dismissed the lawsuits before the lawyers had taken any depositions, received documents, or completed other pretrial research. That all means it's likely to take some time before these cases go to trial, McMichael says.
It's going to take a minute. This is not going to be resolved next month. I would be surprised if it's resolved within the next year.
As I said, this case eventually will come back to Mobile County, but there's still a legal move available to the defendants who can ask the Supreme Court for a rehearing. The deadline for that is Friday. Reporting live in the News Center, Brendan Kirby, Fox 10 News.
All right, thanks, Brendan. And now for a Fox 10 Extra. If you want to learn more about this story, including Brendan's full interview with Professor McMichael, just head on over to fox10tv.com. One of the issues the professor will be talking about is the amount of time this is going to take to sort out before trial and why. So once again, you can see this story, the interview in its entirety, by heading on over to fox10tv.com.